that he's protecting his family and wanted his records in another ward.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We got a problem here. Okay.
Go ahead.
The information that was shared, Tim Ballard's wife is actually 47, not 44.
Who said that?
It was Brian Duffin. It's on X.
Woo!
Right. Yeah. So that was a comment. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what it was said. So there you go.
Let's look up here. Let me go to here. Let me.
Another comment is I can't imagine any bishop would actually do this. I can't imagine either. But
even a bishop that wants to leave the church,
the good standing out, and he would say, I'm a faithful member of the Church of Christ, and take the good standing out. But it's still as it was when he put this up about a week ago. Okay. So
this is new. This isn't something like a year ago or something like that.
Oh, this is new. This is totally new. This statement was by Tim Ballard, and it was to address specifically the allegations that were hitting him. Oh. And so I was checking it. I was kind of going back to it. This isn't something that he posted tonight, but it was in the last week.
Folks, brothers and sisters, I'm here with, we're going to call him Clerk X. Clerk X, he is a friend of mine, and he didn't even have a problem being semi-known, but I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this to you. It's no big deal. And we're really not talking about anything confidential. This is all factual stuff. But as some of you already know, there is a smear campaign against Tim Ballard, and whether it's true or not that he's been, what do you call what's the new term? It's not excommunicated. What is it, Clerk X?
Withdrawal of membership.
Withdrawal of membership. Now, one thing that John Dehlin, and my Clerk X doesn't know who John Dehlin is, which is a good thing. You really it doesn't matter who he is, really. But he's in the podcast community. He's in the anti-Mormon community. He's in the critic, the community of critics against the church. Hard-nosed, hard stance, hardcore critics of the church. He's one of them. One thing he said was that the request, what's it called? Request for removal? I'm sorry.
Withdrawal of membership.
Withdrawal of membership. Remember that. Okay.
I think that's what it is. I know they changed it the last few years.
I think so too. I had it on my video a few days ago, but I had to look it up. He said it was on a Monday night. Well, that's funny because Monday nights are family home evening night, and I don't think the High Council would be meeting on a Monday night. The other thing is, why would all this come out a couple weeks after the smear campaign began, or everything went public, 3 days after he was going to announce his run for the Senate? All of a sudden, 2 weeks later, there's a church court being held. That's very odd, and that was odd to you too, right? So what we're asking our clerk here is, this has been circulating where John Dehlin states, the person that sent to me said the fact that any bishop is in direct contact with Dehlin and providing him with confidential information is deeply concerning, to say the least. Now, the odds of that happening are very slim, but it does happen. There are moles. There are people with 1 foot out of the church and 1 foot in the church. We know that. They appear on anti Latter-day Saint podcasts. So anyway, I showed this to my clerk friend, and it says, John Dehlin says, yesterday I reached out to one of my LDS bishop contacts to see if Tim Ballard is still showed up as an active member in the Tools for Leaders web application. This is what they captured, and there's information redacted of other people in the household. Tim is no longer listed as head of household for this family. Now, I called my clerk friend and I said, what say you, Clerk X? And he had several different scenarios. Would you like to expound on that?
Well, first of all, after looking at this email, first thing you think of anything that is like this, it could be just completely manufactured and fake.
So we're talking about a cut and paste thing.
Cut and paste, yeah. Something. I signed my homework instead of my mom's. At school. It can be completely fake. That's the case. The second of this document, what this actually is is a request from a clerk or a member of bishopric or stake presidency to move a member's records into their ward. Is all it is. It's just a request. So it doesn't give any more information usually than the people who are in the household, and it'll give their birth date. And in order to request a record like this, you have to have their full name and their full birth date to even request it. So that being said, this might not even be the same lady. Could be someone else. There could be several in the church. Might not be her record. I don't know. There's too much blacked out.
How many Catherine Ballards? What are the odds of there being more than one Catherine Ballard that are 44 in all of Utah, all of Idaho, maybe Montana? It doesn't say where it's at. It could be California.
It could be anywhere in the world.
Right. So that's another big scenario. So we mentioned the fakery,
could be false,
a cut and paste deal, or it could be anywhere. And you said, now let me ask you this: what was the other thing you said? I know you said that if this is requested, does it automatically, if somebody says, I'm going to move this person out with their children only and not the husband, will the computer just automatically go head of house?
Well, there's a couple scenarios that this could be, but at the time, say a husband and wife they're living at different addresses, or say you've got a job overseas, or someone's deployed in the military, or whatever. The husband's records might be in a different ward than a wife's, and it does happen. I have seen it, and it'll show she's the head of household at her address, and wherever his records are, it'll show he's the head of household where he's at.
Okay. Now that they're separated,
it could be. It just means their records are at different addresses.
Okay.
It could be they're separated, divorced. Who knows? Well, it could be they just live at different addresses.
Okay.
We know that his records might still not have been transferred back home too.
Right. Because he worked overseas a lot. He goes on these missions where he's gone for months at a time. He could have his records somewhere else. It could be in South America, Central America. And then we also don't know how active, not like he's less active purposefully, but maybe he's so much on the run that he hasn't attended and had time to move his records or something like that too.
Exactly. Records are, we have people in our ward who haven't lived in our ward boundaries for 10 years. We just don't know where to move their records to.
Okay.
And we're always trying to find new addresses so it's a clerk's constant job or battle to update records, make sure they're in the right place. So there's a lot of reasons why it could look like this.
Okay. Now, so this is individual. So would you say if that person is listed that the people under them are family members?
They're more than likely family members.
Okay.
But there's a lot of X's there. So, I mean, I don't know how many kids they have, but that'd be a lot of kids.
I think they do have a lot of kids, but that could also be other members of the ward. Is that what you're saying?
Or no?
Well,
oh no.
Usually it's family members. When it's listed that way, you can't have two head of households living at the same address too.
Okay. That's the other thing.
My parents or something. And,
right.
You explain that.
Well, if you had, say I lived in a multi-generational house with my parents, I'm adult, they're adults, I could be listed as head of household for myself and my kids, and my parents would be listed as head of household for themselves.
Okay.
Or
So now, if somebody has had a removal of records, I think I said it wrong again. Will they be listed? They will not be listed. If a husband if he has had church disciplinary, and
I think he'll still be listed under the records. I haven't seen it, but if you looked up, say this Catherine Ballard, you clicked on her as head of household, and then went to family in the computer, it would still show her husband.
Right. And that would probably be, well, that could be somebody under her right here too.
Yeah, exactly.
There's still that possibility. Okay.
So
that's
I mean, there's not very much information from this picture. It's I would hate to base any assumptions at all off of a name, a gender, and age.
Well, and if you think about how common is the name Ballard in Utah?
I assume it'd be fairly common.
It's a pioneer. It's pretty well. Tim Ballard was good friends with Elder Ballard, and they're not even like, I think they're 12 generations back, maybe related as pioneer heritage, but I don't think they were closely related. As a matter of fact, they're not. They're not like second cousins, third cousins, or anything like that. So, and Catherine, the name Catherine for a 44-year-old is pretty common as well. So this could be anyone, anywhere. And go ahead.
It is a little concerning though that someone did take a screenshot of this though. As a clerk, I'm for me to share this would
That's
if someone
horrible.
found out would probably get me in hot water.
Right.
That
so
is horrifying.
I would never screenshot this and show it to someone.
That should almost be I don't know, for somebody like John Dehlin to do this or others, I think it should be almost criminal. I don't know, like well, it's very unethical, put it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very unethical. And I think that if somebody did something like this, that they should be held accountable, like legally even, because you're basically doxing. You're practically doxing somebody. You're one step away from doxing somebody because for one thing, they're giving away her age. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff is probably public record. You probably look that fairly easy.
Okay.
But as a church clerk, we're supposed to guard and maintain financial records and also membership records. And like I said, as a clerk, I would never screenshot this and give it to someone because it's a violation, of my job.
Right. Well, let me tell you something. With my clerk in my ward, so I'm in the elders quorum, and I have had to look up people that we have to find, right, in the church. You know how many people I've found with the same names that are members of the church that I find out that's not the same person I'm looking for? It's crazy. It is absolutely nuts. Where I had to do that and turn them into my clerk, and it's just crazy because they will even the clerk is agrees that's very common. It's if anybody's ever done, and you have probably as a clerk where you've had to track people down, you're gonna find it's very common to find many Albert Smiths or
I've Googled my own name, and there's probably 12 people with the same name just Googling it within 100 miles of here.
But members of the church though. Well, in Utah, if 90% of the people are members, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have a higher percentage of the odds of it happening. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Clerk X. I appreciate your input.
No problem. At the end of the day, though, I someone who's going through this, like they've got some indiscretion they're working on with their spouse. It's between them and their bishop and the Lord.
Right.
To publicize this, especially if he's trying to work on his marriage or something. I realize he's a public figure, but this is a private matter. And
absolutely. And that's been my defense the whole time, is that how many law enforcement, I brought this up before, how many people actively in law enforcement? I mean, I know Tim Ballard rescued children, but he was kind of in, the Department of, I don't know, he did stuff with the CIA, I think, before. He was in law enforcement, I guess you could say, and helping children and people out in human trafficking. How many law enforcement in Utah have maybe cheated on their wives, had to go through something like this? And we're talking sheriffs and police officers that had disciplinary action and kept their jobs as cops, and were still good cops. What my problem has never been if Tim Ballard ever cheated on his wife or had anything immoral happen. That is between him. That's been my argument. He and the Lord, his bishop and his stake president and his wife, and that's it. And should have nothing to do with his I don't know how he rescues children. If I had a kid missing in South America, I would go directly to him and he'd be like, sorry, I'm excommunicated from the church. I don't care. Go find my kid. Would you care? Sorry, you can't.
At the end of the day, what would the Savior do? Would he pick up a rock and throw it at this guy?
Right.
He'd say, go and sin no more.
Amen, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
So I know we
didn't solve anything, but I think the three main things is this could be fake, this could be another person, and this could be what was the other thing? Fake, another person, or that they were
his records could be somewhere else.
His records could be somewhere else. Exactly. Thank you so much, brother.
No problem.
I just had a clerk on who I know this clerk, but we call him Clerk X, and we had a few laughs about that because he's like, dude, what are you putting me in the corner with the shadow and the deep voice and all that? I said, absolutely. That's what we're doing. And now I have Kyle. So here's the thing.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, say hi to Kyle. Kyle is not actually in Maui.
But there we go. Let's just support Maui.
Absolutely, brother.
Hope for Maui.
And just for a minute,
I got to buy a sweatshirt.
You get all of those different array of colors and sweatshirts, and it's go out and sport it. Go out and sport it. Now, somebody asked
support this guy. We need to support the alternative media. Not the fake news, but the truth.
Right. The unanswerable questions, and also just wearing the articles of clothing out there with that says a lot. So we are supporting Maui, and you're supporting me. Thank you so much, guys.
And I have a friend actually in my scripture group in the morning. Her kids live in Maui, and they actually, I kind of heard from firsthand a lot of what they were going through. So
it's horrible.
To kind of donate to them, help them out a little bit. But
that's very good. Yeah, we've helped a few people. I've had some people email me from Maui that are subscribers, actual people that were right in the middle of all that watch the channel and listen to the podcast. Okay, so you sent me this is a source guy, so I have people with sources. Okay, this is my contributor, one of my contributors too.
I'm just a contributor. I'm a field reporter.
Yes, he is a field reporter.
I'm on the field.
So
I don't get paid, but that's okay. It's just a lot of fun, trying to keep up on the news.
Well, you sent me this, right? So we have, I'm going to probably redact this name, right? Well, he's a big guy, right?
Well, but he's out there on X, so he's
okay with his name being up there.
I mean, that's just, he's out there. So
gotcha. Here, let me move this over. Okay. So how do you feel about this? I know you didn't watch what I was just on with the clerk, and he had several things to say. He said this could be
photoshopped or
photoshopped.
A lot of different things.
You really can. You could take the real thing.
Well, but also if you're pulling in, because I've actually been a membership clerk as well as a ward clerk, and
I have too. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so you can, if you're adding, you can add whoever as the head of household that you pull in, and if you don't,
and then not save it, right?
Right.
That's exactly what I was thinking. If I was a clerk, and let's say I wanted to be nefarious and make this look like something, right? I could pull Catherine Ballard's records and the rest of her household, right?
I mean, Tim could be the next one down that's redacted. I mean, like,
yeah, but wouldn't he be head of the house?
Oh, that's right. He would have been head of house.
But let's say they move her and the kids out on record without him. And then for a moment, the computer's going to show her, if you save this, it's going to be head of house.
And ultimately it's innocent until proven guilty. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
Why are we witch hunting like John Dehlin is? It's just ridiculous. It's like, this is not our story. This is their, Tim Ballard is the one that he'll come out in his own time. Right. If
absolutely,
and that's why I try to go to the source. That's why I went to the Spear Fund. And that's why I was
right. We're going to show that one next. We're going to show that one next. Which was a very good point, Kyle. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's like the best. Look, I don't look at Tim as a liar, but let's go back to this. No, Tim is not a liar. I don't see that. But let me go back to this for a second. Can somebody pull this temporarily away from Tim and the kids, the household, and the computer and label them a head of house before you save it? Because it was ripped away from Tim electronically. Let's say they said, let's see what would happen if we moved Catherine and the kids out. Would it put her as head of the house?
Yeah, probably would. And there could be a lot of reasonings. I mean, for that, maybe his records were in a different,
that's what I was thinking. Maybe to protect her and the family. He's all over the world. We don't know really how active he was either. Not like purposely inactive, but he's on the run so much.
He's busy.
Maybe he had records in South America or Central America or Africa or at this time. How do we know this isn't, that's what I'm saying. The other thing is, how many Catherine Ballards? Can I tell you what I did? I Googled Catherine Ballard in Utah, and I had 7 come up. Some was spelled with C and some with a K. Are you texting, bro?
Yeah. No. I was, what I'm doing, and let me just explain what I'm doing.
Okay.
I went to the tweet and now I'm reading the comments in case anything's relevant. I was just going to mention.
Go ahead. What do you see?
Oh, yeah. So the first person says Photoshop. Another one says reported him for sharing personal information on C, which is against the rules. And I'm not exactly sure what the refer to C is. Can't quite figure that out.
Well, what does it say? Tell me what it says.
Well, it just says, oh, and then somebody said X. Okay. Twitter is what he meant. So basically he just said he reported him for sharing personal information. On X.
Okay.
So,
right.
John Dehlin basically is
somebody. And when he says my bishop, one of my LDS bishop contacts, I told my stake president about this, and he said that could be somebody that was a bishop 10 years ago that's not a member of the church anymore, that has a friend that's a clerk, or it could be anything. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you don't. Yeah. I mean, and who knows if John is telling the truth?
Right.
We don't know.
Right. So let me go to this other one. Wait, before I go to the spear thing, one more thing. So we know it could be Photoshopped. It could be his records were somewhere else. It could be a different Catherine Ballard. It could be that he's protecting his family and wanted his records in another ward.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We got a problem here. Okay.
Go ahead.
The information that was shared, Tim Ballard's wife is actually 47, not 44.
Who said that?
It was Brian Duffin. It's on X.
Woo!
Right. Yeah. So that was a comment. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what it was said. So there you go.
Let's look up here. Let me go to here. Let me
another comment is I can't imagine any bishop would actually do this. I can't imagine either. But
even a bishop that wants to leave the church.
I mean, yeah.
There's been some on
that's
Mormon
true.
stories.
I mean, yeah.
Where there's bishops that have 1 foot out. Look at what's his name? That's on with RFM. Who's that guy that goes on with RFM? What's his name?
Oh, Radio Free Mormons.
Well, he goes on with Radio. The other guy.
And I don't frequent.
Yeah.
Like those that left. That very much.
Okay. So he was a bishop. That guy was a bishop, and he left, and now he's doing that podcast. I'd say, man, if you're a bishop and you go that far to the dark side, God have mercy on you. Okay. The Spear Fund. Tell me about this.
Spear Fund. So the reason I bookmarked this on my my iPhone. Okay. And the reason why is because, and I bookmarked the Spear Fund in general, then you can go into the hamburger menu there, and then you go down to newsroom. Go to newsroom, and that's where these statements come up. And there's two statements that Tim Ballard has made. One is about his, addressing the sexual allegations. So we talked about that. And then the other one is this one here that I circled, his commitment to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So this one, this is the reason why I kind of circled this, is first of all, I wanted to check to see if it was still up. Because if he did lose his membership, then maybe this might be modified where he would take, the good standing out, and he would say, I'm a faithful member of the Church of Christ, and take the good standing out. But it's still as it was when he put this up about a week ago. Okay. So
this is new. This isn't something like a year ago or something like that.
Oh, this is new. This is totally new. This
cool.
statement was by Tim Ballard, and it was to address specifically the allegations that were hitting him. And so I was checking it. I was kind of going back to this isn't something that he posted tonight, but it was in the last week. It's like when the onslaught started happening, he put this up. And so I was just thinking to myself, I wonder if it's still up there. And because maybe if he had lost his membership for some reason, going through the repentance process, working his way back or whatnot, then maybe he might have taken this down altogether, or he would have just changed the wording. And maybe there will be some clarification coming into the future having to do with his membership. Like if for some reason he did lose his membership now. But yeah, I saw that. I'm like, it says right there, he hasn't changed it. It says that he's a faithful member, and he is a member in good standing. So He needed to make that clear, and he has said multiple times that he has kept his covenants with Catherine. And I will say my personal feeling about it, when I watch the podcasts or the videos that Tim and Catherine have done together, is that they're united. the feeling that I get is they're united, and that they've gone through too much together to have any. I mean, they're the waves in their lives are probably far greater than. I'm not saying that this would be huge if he actually did lose his membership, but I'm just saying that they are. I feel like that they're cemented together, they're fortified, and they have that bond and that relationship. And I just got the feeling. I mean, not only watching the movie and not even knowing, everything that Tim has done in his life. I mean, God's hand has been in the middle of everything. Same thing with Catherine.
Right.
I mean, God has been using, and the thing is, and this is another thing I want to say. He was meeting with Russell Ballard. He was meeting with him every single month until Elder Ballard's, or I guess you could say President Ballard's, health started to decline, and then they weren't, and he even cried when he didn't have that opportunity.
Right.
But I can see how not Tim, but someone else would know that and make that association and say, "Oh, you've got to donate to the Spirit Fund because they have a relationship with Elder Ballard." Now, why in the heck would somebody wait for an endorsement from the church to actually help stop child trafficking? Why would you have to get some endorsement? It's like, wouldn't you do that anyway?
No,
because you want to eliminate.
Hold on. Now, did you watch my video where I talked about Zorro?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Did that make sense?
Let's just say his name.
Well, look at this. Look at this. This is from the Spear Fund. We are also highly suspicious about the timing of such a statement, given its close proximity to Mitt Romney's announcement that he's retiring, and my own public comments that he knows what's going. I was right, bro. I know I'm right about
and then
Sword Fighter.
The
Sword Fighter Zorro funded Mitt Romney and Obama in 2012. Zorro bought, I'm gonna have to redact that or blurt it out, bought the company that rhymes with mice a month ago. So right when he announced, it was leaked that he was going to announce that he was running for the Senate 3 days before the request for comment was given to the company that Zorro bought. And Zorro funded Mitt in 2012. Zorro is funding Josh Romney, and he wanted Tim out. This is exactly Zorro's footprint. All these news stations in Utah. That's how Zorro works. That's how he rolls. He put it out. And here's my thing. The company that smeared, the media company that asked for the request for comment, I'm not going to say their name, they can lie and say the church said anything because the church is not going to come out against the globalists. Does that make sense? They're not going to come out against the guy that's funding their campaign, Mitt's campaign. He's powerful. He will try to take the church down if they said no. The media company's lying about what they said, about what we gave them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I mean, any way you slice it and dice it, and it's a very, it's a tangled mess. And I don't really understand all of that and all of the back, the workings of everything. But I do know the Lord's hand is, Jesus Christ is leading our prophet. I mean, and we do have apostles on the earth that do receive revelation, but they're men too on the earth, right? That have their opinions and they have their. I mean, I was talking to somebody who was who knew like Thomas S. Monson and some others, and saying that you would not believe some of the disagreements they get in, because they're human, right? They have opinions and they have personalities, and there can be personality conflicts. And you look at the apostles of old, all the things that they ran into, as you've watched The Chosen, and you can kind of see all the different dynamics between the humanness, the frailties, and we cannot look at them as if they are just angels, on earth, but we know that they are God's instruments, right? Even Joseph Smith, I mean, he was just 14 years old, but yet God uses the things that are what you would think is not what you would expect to bring about his eternal purposes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, they have personalities, they have conflicts, they have opinions. Things are going to happen that are going to be said, but that are not necessarily prophetic, but could be, could turn people, like a President Benson. I mean, there are many things that that the apostles have said that could sway people to leave the church. Why would you do that? Is that where your testimony is? Is it in apostle or is it in Jesus?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
Is it in the gospel and the everything that has been restored that we know that is true? So,
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. Those are just some of my thoughts
No,
about that.
And you're totally right. They are human beings, and we can't put all of our. You have to have your own testimony, and our leaders are telling us. Those imperfect leaders are telling us to have our own light.
That was Scott Palmer's. That was his point. During COVID, it's like we follow the prophet, but we also follow Jesus Christ. Like we have to have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
That's right.
And
don't go on borrowed light. Don't go on borrowed light. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, just real quick, this is my QR code to the Hope for Maui, the sweatshirts. They're 10% off. Remember that. So if anybody, can you see the QR code?
I can see it. Right.
Is there anything blocking it?
My face is blocking it, but that's just on my screen. I could move it over. No, it's not blocking it. No, it's all good.
All right. So yeah, just to plug that, and fall's here. So get your sweatshirt and sport Hope for Maui. All right. I think that's about it, brother.
Okay. I just had one last thought really quick. So, your Zorro talk, and having to do with that whole video that you put out about Zorro. I just think that we are in a very scary time right now where we cannot even speak truth on the airways.
Right.
Like the fact that we cannot even say the first and the last name of somebody, or we will get censored, even though we know it is true where the funding is coming from and so forth. And you look at what happened to Newt Gingrich when he was on with Fox, and he said this, and then he was like reprimanded like on the air.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, how have we gotten so far? And so I know that we're being delicate here because we want to stay platformed. We want to stay, in good graces with the powers that be, so to speak, so we can reach those that are maybe curious or that maybe not understand exactly. But I hope everyone understands what Zorro means. I hope they can figure that part out.
It is SOROS. It is the philanthropist with the big money that goes around
my grandbaby. I just got to say, I just had a new grandbaby. And
congratulations, Kyle.
His middle name is George.
Nice. Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. His middle name is George. As a matter of fact, I have an ancestor, George Deliverance Wilson. And I have another ancestor going up the line just a little bit, Joel Hills Johnson, that wrote High on a Mountaintop. How cool is that?
Nice.
So.
All right. Thanks a lot. I think that's it. No, don't go away. No. Let me Google.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, let's check something out.
Hold up.
No, this is fun. I have my own YouTube channel and stuff, but I keep most of my videos private or unlisted because they're family videos and stuff like that, and I'll share them with my kids. But I've always thought about it would be kind of fun to have like a YouTube channel, or to be able to speak, how you feel about things. And you're so scared nowadays. Like you cannot say, like, I would never talk, like politics or religion in certain groups.
Okay. Before you go, I want to look up Tim and Catherine Ballard. Okay. Let's see how old she is. Catherine age. It says she was born in 1976. So how old would that be?
47.
Yep. John Dehlin, baby, you got moted. Remember moted? Remember in the old days, moted? You got demoted, brother. Sorry, you got demoted. But I love you, John Dehlin, but you're gonna have to change your ways.
Well,
wait. Let me just say this. We're gonna rescue you from spirit prison in the next. We'll come and do missionary work to you, and we'll pull you out of that muck you got yourself into.
To be learned is good if you hearken to the counsels of God.
That's right. All right.
It's okay to have a lot of knowledge and information, but at the end of the day, just hang in there, try to follow the prophet, right?
That's right. That's it. All right, let me stop.
And what a great general conference that was. Okay, yes. Sorry, I'll shut up now. It's been nice being on. Thanks for having me on.
We love you, Kyle. I love Kyle. Kyle is the man. It's been fun. Our interactions have been great.